Okay, cool. So today, basically, I want us to start with, let me quickly check, with study unit 3. And again, basically looking at some questions that was in one of the books and trying to see how we can assist you in identifying what questions, how you need to look at the question and those kind of things. Can you guys see the presentation? Just want to make 100% sure that you can see it. So we are only a few, so can also during the session, please, you can unmute yourself as well and ask questions. We are only a few guys. So let's start. Let's see if, okay, cool. So basically, you will see there's a few questions that we are going to run through, and I just want to, as prep for the exam as well, nearly to say this is how to look at certain things. If there are people that are not on the WhatsApp group yet, just jot down my number 0837908387, and I'll gladly add you to the WhatsApp group when guys see the recording later on. Also, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, please feel free to send me a WhatsApp. There's a few WhatsApps that I'm still behind with, but I will be answering all of them by later tonight. Okay, so let's look at the first question of study unit 3. So study unit 3 is about numerical measurement. So it is looking at things like your mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, all those kind of things. There can be range, can be part of it. Interquartile range, quartiles, all of those things are basically part of this study unit. And what we did last time about the stem and leaf, they can incorporate the stem and leaf into a part of this section as well, because in stem and leaf you also can be asked what is the median, the mode, the mean. They can ask you to work out Q1, Q3, all of those things as well. Okay, so what I thought was interesting, and again, remember you are going to write online. So again, questions that are very theoretical is nearly easier now if you need to solve it online, because you have other tools available. So again, I'm wondering how they will do it. We will nearly get a mock exam in the week or two before your write exam that we can also go through. So we will at least have an idea what the questions are like. I think I still have last semester's mock exam as well, so I will be posting that onto the chat as well. So basically the first question that we're going to look at is the distribution is symmetrical when. So I always, and just imagine this is symmetrical, but basically symmetrical is when you have your normal distribution. And the thing with your normal distribution is that to be a normal distribution and to be symmetrical, your mean, median, and mode must always be exactly the same. So this one was very theoretical, but nearly at the first option already, the value of the mean, median, and mode are equal. So then you have a symmetrical distribution. And I think on the paper, my summary page on study unit 3 also shows you when something is positive skew, negative skew. They can talk about skew to the left, skew to the right. So I think it's really important to have those three diagrams with you when you write exam. Okay, let's just look at the other four options that was excluded as why they are excluded. We use the sample to conclude about the population. No, that doesn't mean it's going to be symmetrical. It can be any other distribution as well. Each observation in a sample is likely to be selected. That still doesn't tell me it's symmetrical because we don't know how those observations are distributed. The value of the mean, median, and mode are not equal. So that is basically, you can see the opposite. So that is nearly what they wanted to check with you, if you know that everything will be equal or if it's not equal. So that is why that one is wrong. We are able to calculate the mean and the standard deviation through the calculator. Okay, you will be able to do that, but that doesn't tell me that something is symmetrical or not, because you can calculate the mean and the standard deviation through a calculator for something that's also not symmetrical. Okay, so the important one is the only reason why something is symmetrical is because the mean, median, and mode are equal. Okay, we're still a smallish group, about 8 or 9. So if you can still ask questions in between. I don't have a problem at all. So I assume everybody is happy with that first kind of question. Very theoretical, and nearly those ones. You can even use these slides to assist you with those ones as well. Okay, the next one is more the type that I want us to look at, because this is more the things that you will need to know how to calculate. So they tell us there's a collection of data points, and then they start asking us a few questions. And they ask us which one is correct. So the first thing you need to do when you get this data is to arrange it from smallest to highest. So let's look at what's the smallest number is 26. Next one is 27. The next one is 28. Next one is 30. Then a 51 and another 51. Okay, so that basically is those numbers from small to large, or minimum to maximum. So then it is a bit easier to analyze it. So let's look. The range is always the biggest minus the smallest. So 31 minus 26 equal to 5. Okay. In the exam, you're done. That's the one that is correct. So the range is 5. Let's just check what are the other numbers. So the median is the one that is in the middle. So we have 6 numbers, so basically the one that is between number 3 and 4. So if 28 is there, 29 is, 30 is there, the number in between those two are 29. So the median would have been 29. Other way to calculate that median is to say, okay, it's those two numbers. So 28 plus 30 divided by 2. And that will also give you 29. So the median 29. The mode is the one that happens the most. If you look at the mode is 31. So there's 251. So the mode would have been 31. The sample mean. So the sample mean you would have gotten by the sum of the x's divided by n. So it would have been, let me quickly check on my calculator, 26 plus 27 plus 28 plus 30 plus 51 plus 51 is 173, and that divided by 6 will give you the sample mean, and that is 28.8, so it would have been closer to 29. Okay, so that is why that one is also wrong. The distribution is symmetrical. Okay, so nearly in the first one we saw for it to be symmetrical, your median, mode, and mean needs to be the same. It isn't. So basically we then know that your distribution is not symmetrical. Okay, so we could have then eliminated that as well. But in the exam, you can basically get the first one and don't work out the rest because you need the one that is correct. Okay, any questions on this? Does it make sense? Is it easy? Just want to get a feel of where you are, how it is. You guys are very quiet. Okay, so let me go to the next one. Measures of central tendency. So what would you guys say is the measures of central tendency? And I can't always remember, so I directly go to nearly my script notes. So normally in it is mean, median, and mode. So let's, the value of mean, median, mode when they have all the same value. Okay, so not 100%. They don't need to have all the same value. So I'm not too sure yet if that is correct. The presence of an outlier, definitely not that. Whether this distribution is symmetrical or skewed. Okay, so you use those to see if it's symmetrical or skewed, but not. Sample size, no, that doesn't have the mean is correct and also not the variance, so it's not that. Mean, median, and mode. Okay, so there, that is the correct one. It, again, for measure of central tendency, you don't need them all to be the same, as they say in option 1. option 1 would have been correct if you needed to know if something is symmetrical or not. But just for central tendency, you only want to know what the mean, median, and mode is. It doesn't need to be exactly the same if you just want to know the 3 measures. Okay, so a technical one here, but and I think that is really, you can see with this one and this one, very technical on the theory part. So I think that is just the one thing that you might be aware of for the exam, that very technical about the theory. So, and I think in one of your assignments, I think that I also got wrong is just that small wording. So the technicality of theory that makes you sometimes wonder which one you go for. Okay, so let's look again at another one that they give us information. Very interesting here is we always so we need to get the correct one. So for the range, we always say the maximum minus the minimum. So if you didn't arrange the data from smallest to biggest, you would have said 27 minus 27, and you would have gotten 0. But remember, for range, we need to first get the data from smallest to biggest. So the first data point is 26. Then we have two 27s. Let me just... So it's two 27s, which is that one and that one. A 28, a 30, and a 31. Okay, so 26, 27, 27, 28, 30, 31. Okay, so that is actually your correct one. But let's work through the others as well, just so that we can see how to get it. Okay, so the range, biggest minus smallest, so the range would have been 5, so that is wrong. Median is looking at the two middle numbers, so it is 27 plus 28, and we divide that by 2, so the median is actually 27.5. Okay, so that one is also wrong. So let me just, so that you can later on. So it is the 27 plus the 28 divided by 2 gives you 27.5. The mean, okay, we need to basically add all of that. So the mean would be the sum of all the x's divided by n. So let me just work that out again. So 26 plus 27 plus 27 plus 28 plus 30 plus 31, I get 169. And if I divide 6, I get 28 point. So it could have been rounded off, but 28.2 rounded off. So definitely not the mean. Oh, and now you can see how easily I made the mistake as well. Okay, mode. is 27. And I just didn't read. So that one is actually the correct one. And I didn't read because there it says unordered data set. So it's actually wrong. That set is an ordered data set. So this is for ordered data set. Okay, so actually made a mistake. I thought I was just looking at that. I didn't actually read that. I just thought that is what they wanted, but that is actually the ordered data set, so it should be wrong as well. So in the exam, I would have made a mistake because I just didn't read what was in front of there. Shows how easily one makes a mistake, and you assume that you are looking at doing it correctly because I ordered it and according to my ordering it's correct, but I actually even didn't see that they said unordered data. Okay, and just shows how easy one can make the mistake in the exam. Sure. Okay. Does it make sense? Are you guys happy with that? And next time, just read the whole question and everything and not like I did. I thought I was clever in arranging that and then making that the right answer where it was not. Okay, you happy until now? Just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, that I just get at least some point of understanding. Anyone? Okay. Cool. Okay, next one. So you can see there's another one around nearly theory, and then I thought it's good that we look at Q1 and Q2 talking about the positions and talking about the values, so to calculate that, because then we nearly covered everything in chapter 3. So let's look at this definition. So the mean tells you the middle score if you line the score up from the lowest to the highest. And now, so what is that one? I just want to check this one. So the middle score, if you line the score up from lowest to highest, so that is actually your median. Okay. So let's look at the central tendency of a distribution. Okay, so yes, it is, but we're missing mode and we're missing the median. So it's not the only one. So can't be. The most frequent score in a distribution. Sure. No, because that is mode. I just went to that can't be. This is quite interesting. One high point that you are sure about. Okay. Isn't that the outlier? That how spread out the scores are. I know, now I'm wondering again if it's not 2, because that's the closest. That how spread out the scores are. Sure, I'm nearly now between 2 and 5. What do you guys say? This is quite interesting. It doesn't feel like any one of them are really correct. Maybe 2, but it's not the only one. So what would you have, if this was in the exam, what would you have gone for? So let me, yes, Sibo, am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, I will choose number 2.
Chosen number 2. Okay. I'm also now.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else, would you have gone for something different? Or would you have also gone for number 2? What would, if you were pressured in the exam to give an answer, what would you have gone for? Okay, so we've got 1, 2. Who wants to?
I think I would also have gone for number 2, because it says, although for central tendency we need mean, median, and mode, that seems to be the closest answer to choose.
Yeah, that's nearly what I also. I'm just going. I just want to check in the where I got that question. If I now just didn't read it right. Because one is so scared when you look at these and you're wondering what is it that they really looking for, or are they trying to catch it, or is it just as simple as so they made a no, so they actually made a mistake in the study guide. So they made a mistake in the study guide. So it is, they wanted to ask the mode. So they wanted to ask, so I would, in the exam for this one, I would have gone also for 2, even though you don't have all the other things. I would also have gone for option 2, because, and why I say that is also, if I ask you the question about central tendency, then you would also say mean, median, and mode. But if I tell you, they ask the question from a side of the mean, then mean is a measure of central tendency, so then it's fine. So I would have also gone for 2. Very interesting. So a bit confusing, and they definitely have made a mistake in the book with this one. But I would then go for option 2. Okay. So let's get into Q1, Q2, Q3 interquartile range, and let's quickly see if we can answer a few of these questions. Okay, first again we need to order. So let's see, 15 is the smallest. Then it is 18. Then 20. Okay, so let's do it this way. Then at least I know. 21, 22, 23. Okay. 21, 22, 23. 21, 22, 23. Okay, 25, 26. 26, then 28 and 30. Okay, so let's look at, so they first ask, that one is a position, that one is a position, the value, okay, so which one is incorrect? The value of Q2 is not equal always to the median. Okay, so that one is incorrect. So Q2 is always equal to the median. Okay, so that is the answer that we are looking for. But let's look at the rest. So let's work out Q3, Q1 and Q3. Let's see what the rest of the questions are. So let's, how many was there? 10 banks? 10, so 4. So between those two would have been Q2. Okay, so then between, and you can nearly, how I look at it is nearly to say, well, between those two, you have Q2, which is normally for me easier to do it this way. Between those 4, you have your Q1, and between those 4, you have your Q3. So it's nearly, so for me it's always easier to do it this way, because then you can nearly say that is where it will be. Okay, very technical, this formula. So this one is just to show that between 2 and 3, position 2 and 3. So this one is between position 8 and 9. So how we get to these numbers, so for Q1, it is n plus 1 divided by 4. So it is, n is 10, so it will be 11, 11 divided by 4. And 11 divided by 4 is 2.75. So for Q3, it is 3 times n plus 1 divided by 4. So it will be 53 divided by 4, which will give you then 8.25. So on a technical way with the formula, that is correct. Then to calculate the value of Q3, rank first the values from smallest to largest. Yes, to calculate any of the things you will need to do that. The interquartile range is 6, so you needed to calculate, and now you can see what they do with this is they nearly round it off. So they say that is your third value, that is your 8th value. So your third value was 20, your 8th value was 26, so your interquartile range is 26 minus 20, which give you the 6. So there is, and the problem that I have with the interquartile range is there's different ways to calculate that value. And what I've seen with a lot of the things in this nearly assignments and exams, they nearly every time round the bottom one, so they round it off to the nearest full value and use that value. Technically, there's other ways to do it, but this is what I've now seen in a lot of examples, that they round it off and use those numbers, which are much easier than using. If you calculated that on Excel, you will get a different number, but it will be like 6.1 or something like that, just because of the rounding off. Okay, so let's look at another one on that and see if we can again nearly get that. So again, we have 10 households, so the sample is again 10. So like in the previous one, position 1 is 2.75 and position 3 is 8.25. We haven't even done anything to that yet. So here we need to work out the median. Here we need to use that to get to that. And let's see then what was this one. Okay, so we need to arrange it from smallest to highest again. So just, if I'm missing one, just shout out. So it's 33, 37, 41, 43, 44, 47, 50 and 51, 55 and 61. just do it that. So 55, okay. So so let's again do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between those two is Q2. Let's take that. So Q1. Let's take that. Q3. So 2.75. So 41 will be the rounded off. 2.75 will give you number 3 or position 3. Rounded off will give you the 51. So that is correct. 51 minus 41, that is correct. So the value, that should be wrong, but let's just see. It is 44 plus 47 divided by 2, which I think is sure. Okay, what is that? 44 plus 46 divided by 2. Oh, it is 44.5. 45.5. Also very interesting. What am I missing? Did I make a calculation error somewhere? Or is there another mistake on this question, which I... Weird. Everything is correct. Oh, there's another mistake on there. So if you guys have the extra booklet that has a lot of these questions in, this is another mistake on that booklet. Because they say that one is wrong, but it's not. So basically all of these are correct. So yeah, and that's why I think it's critical in the exam that and nearly a tip. So when you're writing something and you feel there is a mistake, take a picture of it. Don't send it when you're taking it to me already. Send it to me afterwards. But please take a picture if there's anything that you think there's a mistake on the paper. Because what happens in the exam, obviously, we will also get access to the exam after you've written, so we can go through it as well. But if you pick something up and I can let the lecturer know, then when they look at that question and there was a mistake in it, they drop the question, or they give you the point. So depending on what they want to do. Okay, so please, if you see something like this in the exam, take a picture of it and send it to me afterwards. I think that is nearly the only way that we're going to make sure that some things don't creep in. Yes, Sebesiso, or is it a previous hand that has been up? Okay, questions before we go to the next section, study unit 4. Okay, happiness about study unit 3. Basically, the only thing that they can also ask in this is there can be a what is it, the CV. I must just remember what that is, but I will also look at what else they can ask you in this section, but that is nearly covering everything. I think there's something like correlation of variance, or I must just check what there's one more that they can ask. I will just check that one for you. But else that is nearly everything that they can ask you. So let's start with the probabilities, and see how far we can come today. But else we'll continue with this on Thursday again, and we'll also start including then study unit 5 for Thursday as well. Okay, so why I included this one is most of the time you get, like in question 5, a set of numbers. So I thought I'll rather include 2 that they've actually already worked out the probability, and let's see if that then makes sense, because it's thinking and looking at it a bit differently, where you get a number and then you need to work out the probability. So here they tell us we've got a table list for joint probabilities of achieving grades of A and not achieving grades of A in 2 MBA courses. So achieving grade of A in stats, not achieving it, and then achieving a grade A in marketing and not achieving it. So the first thing, which one of the following statements are incorrect? Okay, so what is the probability of achieve a grade of A in marketing? So there it is, grade A in marketing. So it's basically that total. So that one is correct. They're not asking us anything else. They just want us to tell us what is the probability that you will get a grade A in marketing. Then the next question is, what's the probability that you will get a grade A in stats? So grade A for stats is looking across 0.183. Perfect. Okay, so those 2 are correct. Let's see if there is any other things. So no. So let's look at question 3. Event does not achieve a grade of A in marketing and does not achieve a grade A in statistics are mutually exclusive events. Okay, so is that true or false? Let's just look at the next one. events achieve a grade of A in marketing and grade of A of statistics are independent events. The probability that a student achieves a grade of A in marketing, given that he or she does not achieve a grade A in stats. Okay, so basically achieving a grade A in marketing that's quite interesting. And given that he does not achieve a grade of A in stats. Okay, so let's quickly see. Okay, so that is another one that I'm going to mark now for let's look at those. Okay. So event does not, and we're looking for incorrect one. So let's first try to do this one. So how would you have done, somebody's driving. How would you have done option 5? So the probability that a student achieves a grade of A in marketing, given that he or she does not achieve a grade of A in statistics. Does not achieve a grade of A in statistics. Okay, so let's do that. We've used those, so okay, so does anybody want to try it or must I show you? Does anybody want to try? Must I rather show? Okay, so the probability that a student achieves a grade of A in marketing, so I just want to block that off. Given that he or she does not achieve a grade of A in statistics. Does not achieve. Okay, so I want to block that off. Okay, and then out of one of the formulas, there's a formula that says if you have a given, it is probability of A and B divided by the probability of B. That will give you the answer that you're looking for. So the probability here of achieving a grade of A in marketing while does not achieve a grade in stats is 0.237. Given that he does not get a grade A in stats is 0.817. So if we divide those two by one another, 0.237 divided by 0.817 gives us the 0.2901. Okay, so this one is also correct. Okay, so now it is more to do with one of these two. Okay, event does not achieve a grade of A in marketing and does not achieve a grade A in statistics or mutually exclusive. Okay, so the problem with this one is, so does not achieve a grade A in marketing, does not achieve a grade A in marketing, and does not achieve a grade A in stats. So there is actually 58% probability that that will happen. Mutually exclusive is when it does not happen. So that one is wrong. Okay, so mutually exclusive means that the two can't happen simultaneously, but with this, and because it is joint probabilities, it will happen. So the mutually exclusivity is nearly taken away when we have this. It's different if they ask us about achieving grade of A in statistics and not achieving a grade A in statistics or something like that. But when you have this cross tabulation, this one combined with that one will always happen. Okay. Events achieve a grade of A in marketing and achieve a grade of A in statistics are independent. That is also true, because the one doesn't do, and to explain, and you can work it out as well, the probabilities, but the one doesn't necessitate that the other one will happen. And you can work out the independent events probability from a study guide as well, nearly. I think for it to be independent, you must say, what was the independence one? The probability of the one times the probability of the other one will then be equal to that. I must just check what the, you can see I don't learn it off by heart, what the function for independent events are. Okay, sure. I think it was a lot to take in today, and we can rather continue on Thursday with the rest of this. Okay, questions, guys, before we end off. I know it takes a bit long, but I rather want us to work through it, unless you say we need to skip some of it. But I think it's important that nearly the first part of the study units is the ones where you can get the easier points as well. In the exam as well, you will get nearly a even spread of the questions. So it's not that study unit 8, 9, and 10 basically covers 70% of the work. Each study unit is covered in the exam with 1 or 2 questions. So it's normally 2 questions per study unit, which gives you about 22 marks, and then there's a bit more on normal distribution. What there's normally about is an extra 1 on Poisson. So that study unit has the discrete, the binomial, and the Poisson. So that's normally also 3 questions. But it's basically around 2 questions per study unit. Okay, questions before we end off? Is it making a bit more sense? Is it landing? Is it better? Are you understanding it a bit better? We will still have a few of these sessions, so don't worry about that. And it is recorded, so you can watch it again and again to let it nearly sink in. Okay, question, guys, before we end the session. You've been very quiet today, probably because it's Monday. Any questions you can ask, guys. Please ask if something is bothering you, or just say, okay, you're happy. Okay, cool. Okay, great. Okay, awesome. So we will continue on Thursday again with this. So Thursday I want to just do a few of them so that we can nearly take care of study unit 4, and then I hope we will have time to just start study unit 5 as well. Study unit 5 is with a discrete binomial and Poisson. So that I normally jump between screens as well, just to show how to use the tables. So I think that will also be important, that if you can have your study guide with you that I can show on the table. Yes. Yes, Precious, do you want to ask something? It's fine, don't worry. Okay, cool, guys. The recording will be available later tonight. So once again, thank you, and see you on Thursday. Cheers for now.